necessary, dancer. No apology is necessary, sir. If that's how you believe, that's how you believe. I believe that the Jamaica Constabulary Force right now needs to be supported and they need to be empowered, right? That's what me believe. Again, I won't sit here and tell you that they are perfect, but they are getting the job done. Soft policing don't work with Jamaican criminal. When the criminal them come, them no have no pity for people. 8-year-old picnic, 6-month-old picnic. That's what them do. That's the kind of havoc where them leaving and them wake. The police have to be allowed to meet them with equal force. Now, there was a time in this country where every time police kill somebody, you see demonstration out there, oh, innocent, yeah. Are we seeing that today? No, because the police is doing targeted operation. The police, listen, I want you people to understand, say, the police don't walk down the road and buck up on a wanted man and want shoot out and so. And I said going on. Not with this JCF. Judith Curry, big up yourself. The JCF what we have now don't walk down the road and buck up on criminal. Information driven operation is what them have. Technology backed. Them have a choice. Bring them, yes. Yes, Omalo, thank you. Them have the choice for turning themselves. Right? That's a job. That's what Jamaican for Justice should be demonstrating for next week when them say, demonstrate and beg the criminals, say, please put down on no guns and turn in on yourself to the police. But instead, them are going to demonstrate that the police is doing too good of a job. To hell with Jamaican for Justice. People like them there, if it was up to me, I would go up to them office, lock the door, choose some. No, me not say that. Let me not say that. Let me not say that. Right? But people like that need to be called out for their hypocrisy. Last year in Jamaica, there was a shooting down in Clarendon where 8 persons were shot, including a 8 months old little picnic. 8 months old. Did you hear Jamaican for Justice came out and say anything? No, they did not. There was a shooting in Roxford where 5 men were gunned down by criminal. Did you hear Jamaican for Justice come out and say anything? No. There was another shooting on Waltham Park Road. Another 5 men were gunned down. Did Jamaican for Justice come out and say anything? No. But as soon as one of the little dirty drunk of them get cut down, all of a sudden something wrong. And that's the behavior we are called out from Jamaican for Justice. Why are they against law and order? Why are they in support of criminal? And I will tell you know why. I will tell you know why. Because that's where their funding come from. That's how them go. That's how them can go overseas to places like the European Union. Them could have go to USAID one time, but Trump cut off that. Them could have go to England one time, but me say England now give them no more. So now they can go to EU, places like UNESCO. Right? And that's what them do. So when them go to these organizations and ball and beg and say, oh my God, Jamaica is that, them get money. So a peaceful and quiet Jamaica is not good for JFJ funding. I wish I was me. A peaceful and quiet Jamaica. If Jamaica have a murder rate of 1 per year or 100 per year, that is not good for JFJ funding. If law-abiding citizens take over, that is not good for JFJ funding. Don't listen to them. Are them money them are defend. Is them money, them a defend, them don't give a shit about law-abiding citizens in Jamaica. Them don't care for no. Jamaican for Justice, Michael Jackson, them not care about law-abiding citizens in Jamaica. You hear? Hold on, let me find the release what them put out. Cause just in case you don't believe, say, we are on here wasting our time. We are not. This is a post from the JFJ. You can support the police. It's a protest in blue. Yes, we are protesting in blue. So the Jamaican for Justice say you must protest in blue. Yes, we're in the blue, please. Every well-thinking Jamaica, if you're a law-abiding citizen of Jamaica, on the 29th, wear something blue. That is what we are defend. That is what we are support. Defend the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. They are not perfect. It is not a perfect force. Them still have problem. But they are getting the job done now. Finally, yesterday, another big guns and ammunition find at the wharf. 15 handgun and 6 rifle. 149 rounds of ammunition and 9 magazines were taken off the wharf yesterday. That is what was taken off the wharf yesterday. 15 handgun. Hold on, I need to find that release and get the I don't want to give them the wrong numbers. But that is what was taken off the wharf yesterday. Jamaica Constabulary Force is doing its job. Run where Jamaican for Justice, them no mean or no good. Right? PMP supporters are supporting these things because the PMP, Joseph, what going on for a long time I don't see you. The People's National Party is a criminal organization. By the way, it was a bandit warehouse. It was a customs warehouse. By the way, speaking of criminal organization, I want to ask question about the young PMP representative that was caught in a borrowed Benz over the weekend. By the way, it was borrowed without the owner's consent. Information is sketchy at this time, but did anybody hear about Danica Williams' launch over the weekend? Yes. The daughter of Dana Williams launched her campaign over the weekend. But we want to big up to the representative that was caught in a Mercedes-Benz that did not belong to them, you know. And we should go to Danica Williams launch over the weekend. I don't know if I somewhere in a Senton they were caught, but I know that's where the launch was kept. I understand it was well supported. What if a Benz and thing was down there? Some of them legal, some wasn't. But it was another strike by the Jamaica Constabulary. I want to get Petrally have the numbers of them thing they were in finance today. Well, let me see me find it. Let me go visit Jamaica. I'm going to visit them page. Reportedly, yes, I sent down them find the Benz. All right. All right. So let me find Jamaica Constabulary Force. Another big weapons find yesterday. Another big weapon find yesterday. And see that just on cue. Just on cue, the PNP again against law and order. Right, CTAC face of the way. No, I want to that. I want to find how much gun where the ammunition find my yesterday there. 14 handguns, 6 rifle, 100. And by the way, they found there was another M16, I think it was, that was found in a separate incident in St. Elizabeth yesterday also. Right? So the Jamaica Constabulary Force has been doing its part to rid us of criminal elements. Right? And to see that a group, yes, truth only, they found another massive import at the wharf yesterday. I'm trying to find the report, but I'm not seeing it. 15 handgun. Them not like that, man. For all me know, maybe that shipment did belong to somebody from Jamaica for justice. That's why they're against the police and they will do their best to bring down the police. But I am a well-thinking Jamaican. I live through the high crime rate. I live through 1,600 murders and we don't want to go back there. So we have to support the Jamaica Constabulary Force in them drive. And this is not the first time. This is in a slide, yes. This is not the first time the Jamaican Constabulary Force has put criminals on the run. Now, man, I am not. No, you can't. My opinion is not defamation, and I did not accuse. I say for all I know, but I don't know all. I don't know all. Right? I say for all I know, but I don't know all. So I could be wrong. Right, man, where is it? I'm trying to find the one from yesterday, but I'm not seeing it. But yesterday, Benga people, rest assured, another ammunition, gun and ammunition find. This one is Hanover. No, this is not the one I'm looking for. 1,000, no, this is not the ammunition. It was in it was at a warehouse on Marcus Garvey Drive, inside. So it's one of the so it would be Kingston Wharf, but it's at the warehouse. 15 handgun, 149 rounds of ammunition, 6 rifle, and 9 magazines. That is what they kept off of the street yesterday. So that there is another 149 lives saved. If each bullet equal a life, then the Jamaica Constabulary Force yesterday saved 149 lives. 149 Jamaicans were saved yesterday. Now we have to say thanks to the Jamaica, not Jamaican for justice, thanks to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Now, to Jamaican for justice, if you don't like what me I say, you know welcome, you can send no friend them come to me, you know. Me ready and me I wait. Me ready? Ah, here it is. Here it is. Me not have to ask, you know. I don't need to ask. When you hear me searching, you know say you must get searching too. As long as you hear me searching, you have to get searching too. You know yourself. Police seized gun and ammunition at warehouse and Marcus Garvey Drive. Right, so them say, according to source, the illegal weapons were found inside a barrel and include 15 handguns, 149 rounds of ammunition, and 19 magazines. 19 magazines, Jesus Christ. A war them people ago. A war them ago. 19 magazines. I assume the guns for the magazines are already here. Are they on them way? What Jamaican for justice say? This is where you step out now and you congratulate the Jamaica Constabulary Force and a job well done. Sometime you know, you know, take up on your phone, you know, in these times, you know. Call a one police station and big them up. When you see them on the road, big them up. We can't let them hang out there, make people like Jamaican for justice go beat them down and demoralize them and make the criminal get back the upper hand. That is what happened in 2011. I think the Prime Minister speak on it recently. In 2010, we all know about the incursion into Tivoli Garden to arrest Christopher Cook. A state of emergency was declared and they went in. They also dig up a couple more areas and they had criminals on the back row and the run for the rest of the year into 2011. A request was made of the opposition then. The leader of government business in the house was a man named Andrew Holness. He went to the leader of opposition business, a man named Peter Bunting, and say, let us move this operation into Spanish Town, St. Catherine, and let us crush the two biggest gangs we have there. Let us move in and crush them now. Peter Bunting said no. Peter Bunting refused to give his support. The method stopped. They won an election in 2011, took office in 2012. They did they inherited a decline in murder rate. That is why them can go around now and they will tell you, oh, murder was so low in 2011, in 2012 and 2013. Yes. It was low because of the work what the Jamaica Labour Party did in 2010 and 2011. And had you continued that work, the level of murder what we see now would have been eradicated long time. But you sit down and come up with peace management initiative, a method of going around. Tap up the screen, my people. Now if you tap up the screen and share the live, make people come. A method of going around and giving Dan's money, pay Dan's, give Dan's taxpayers money. Billions of dollars was spent putting Dan's hand. Say no fire, no gun this week. But you never try to get the guns off of the street. You allow lotto scamming to rise. Yes, lotto scamming was on the increase. The criminals fund themselves, buy their own illegal weapon, and unleash a level of terror on the Jamaican people for the next few years. Wickeder than we've ever seen before. St. James was the murder capital of the Caribbean. St. James was the murder capital of the Caribbean. The then security minister, a man named Peter Bunting, the very same man that had refused truth be told, if Mark ever resurrect that initiative, Jamaica doom. Remember me tell you that. That was one of the biggest failure them ever come up with. Give Dan's taxpayer money. And Mark Golden says he's going to empower the Dans once again. Now, as according to Marky G, I want to not hear this, you know. And this is why them support Jamaican for justice and we don't. Mark said, he want to have people and can call to squash things. The people we call, the people the Jamaica Labour Party call to squash things is the Jamaica Constabulary Force or the Jamaica Defence Force. We don't need nobody else. We don't need nobody else. If we want something to squash, we will call the Jamaica Constabulary Force or we will call the Jamaica Defence Force. We don't want to call nobody else. Right? But Peter Bunting, after 1 year in office as the security minister, went on the political platform with tears in his eyes. Well, let me say, anybody have that tape there with you can send, go give me? Is there anybody who have the tape of Peter Bunting begging for divine intervention? Somebody send me the divine intervention tape, please. I want to play it for the people. He went to this part and begged God. Say God alone can help with. Because me can't do nothing else. Me can't do nothing else. That's what them do. Play mark and I don't think I have that. If somebody send it to me, I play it. Right? And then now, when you pray for divine intervention and God intervene and send Jamaica Labour Party to come and rescue Jamaica, they send a security minister named Bobby Montague. Bobby told us that in the nation's interests, some of these high-ranking khaki suit people at the JCF needed to be retired. Uno beat him down feet and say police interference, government overreach. Jamaican yard, I will try not to, but say we can't ignore the enemy. We can't preach to the choir every day, my general. we can't preach to the choir every day. So every now and again, we have to have a one opposing voice so we can know. That's how we know how strong our argument is when we test against the enemy. Right? So that is what they have to offer. When Bobby said we have to retire them, people laugh. Then God sent us Horace Chang. And the PMP, them cuss him every day, how him in a parliament, asleep, him now do nothing. Them want crime plan, them want crime plan. Them want crime plan, them want crime plan. The Jamaica Labour Party being a smart organization. Never send anybody any crime plan. No. Because why would we advertise a crime plan so the criminals can know what we're planning? That's what I would. Why? So they sat. Listen to Peter Bunting.
By marauding gunmen, and which has rampant and brazen criminality in several communities, looks to this man to help craft effective policies to slay the crime beast. Now, however, National Security Minister Peter Bunting, in an emotional display, believes the lasting solution to deal with Jamaica's crime problem has to come from above. Clearly holding back tears, Mr. Bunting said this is a dark time in his career as minister.
I think after 15 months, I am convinced that the best efforts of the security forces by itself will not solve the crime problem in Jamaica. But it is going to take divine intervention, touching the heart of a wide cross-section of the society.
Mr. Bunting suggested help from the heavens is needed by way of the Almighty, touching the hearts of pastors, business persons, and politicians who would then take appropriate action.
And using as the instruments of the divine intervention the ministers' fraternals, the academics, the business community, those persons who work in the NGO community, those of us who are in political service, all to try and make an impact.
Until then, however, the minister told the gathering that based on the numbers, it could be perceived that the crime beast is winning. His voice broke during the declaration. He tried hard to control his emotions.
I'm not embarrassed to say that right now as Minister of National Security, I'm going through a kind of a dark night of the soul because we're trying very hard at the ministry. I see the men and women of the security forces trying very hard, working night and day, long hours. I see the leadership, capable, competent, professional, both of the police and the military. And so much effort is being made, and yet so little headway, such slow headway is coming out in the statistics.
At one point, there was a pause by the minister. He needed a moment.
And
So what's keeping him going in light of the grim reality? The minister.
This is the man now. This is the man now. That same junker, they know, have all the ideas. That same junker there have all the ideas. It's him now a stand up with Jamaican for justice. Him same one right now a stand up with Jamaican for justice. That same junker where he on stage a ball like water. But it wasn't the Jamaica Constabulary Force that was failing. It was you, Peter Bunting, you and the PMP who failed to give the JCF the tools that they needed to get the job done. Because it's the very same JCF today that is presiding over a 36% reduction in murders. The very same one where you say couldn't get the job done by itself. So who was the failure? Now you come back and you are telling people, say, hold on, let me find the next one and play for him. Him not done this, you know. Him not done this, so he came back. He came back now. And when there was progress being made, in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, hold on, he come back and he went on the next political platform and he say, I go find him say the next time, I don't want nobody be say me I tell lie upon him. He said the money being spent. As I say, no, this is the man who presided over billions of Jamaican dollars being paid to dons. Being paid to dons. We continue, I tell you recently that the Spanish Town Municipal Corporation was found paying $1 million a month. $1 million a month was being paid to the Klansman gang and to one other gang in Spanish Town. That's where your tax dollars was going under the PMP. Well, let me find them. I don't want nobody to say me I tell like on Peter Bunting. Now you come back and you say the investment being made is a waste. Listen to him now. This is him again.
It really just opened my eyes to the fact that, it's very difficult to control. However, where I think the most effective place to intercept drugs is as it's coming on shore. If we had confidential informants, a network of confidential informants on every fishing beach in Jamaica, it would be a better investment than spending another 100 or 200 million US on Coast Guard vessels, which are trying to intercept drug boats. Is like in that 100,000 square miles, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. It's much more effective to collect the intelligence on the beaches amongst the fishermen and so on that go out to collect or are involved in this smuggling of drugs, guns and other.
So again, the man said implant now is to peer people that are involved in the smuggling. When me come and me tell you, me say the peace management initiative was to pay the dance. Put money in the dance on. He come and say, no, you are going to pay people that are involved in the smuggling to try and stop it. This is why they are now siding with Jamaican for justice to try and bring down back the Jamaica Constabulary Force, to try and break the morale. Thank God we have a Prime Minister and we have a Commissioner of Police that are standing with the men and women in blue, and I myself and the rest of the Jamaica Labour Party and all well-thinking Jamaican are supporting the JCF. We are stand up with them. When you not find the criminal them, if them not willing to surrender, send them to the maker. If they are not willing to meet the judge, send them to the maker. We now make no apology for that. And if Jamaican for Justice get in the way, we are going to send them go meet them Jamaica too. Because we are going to rid Jamaica of criminality one way or the other. With or without the help of the PNP, we are going to rid Jamaica of criminality. And as me say, the PNP is a criminal organization, so chances are when you get rid of criminal, then we gone to. Too long now, man. We have these people who get up and because them call themselves civic group. When they come out and talk tribe, nobody goes up against them because everybody afraid of them. The 29th of this month, everybody, we are going in a blue. And we are going to show we support for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Yes, we are going to show go out in a blue. Anywhere you're there in the world, just wear something blue. Put up the social media. The crest is on my page. Download it. Put it on your social media and that there. You see that the blue thing I have on my status there? Copy it. We are going to blow up social media that day there. As long as you're a well-thinking Jamaica, as long as you support law and order, as long as you support the work for rid Jamaica of criminal mentality, put it up on your social media on the 29th. Stand up with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Stand up for law and order. That's what we are doing. And we now make no apology. We now make no apology to no guy or no girl. Good evening, Nikhil Jackson. And then now you are going to put out things now what about we can wear blue all we want. What she say? Well, wait. We can wear blue all we want, but we have to demand things. You not demand nothing. What you say you are going to do, you know? You are going to demonstrate about police brutality. Now, I don't hear nobody cry out about no police brutality, you know. What places like the Jamaican for Justice and the PNP fail to understand, and I said it earlier, I'm going to repeat it. The Jamaica Constabulary Force that exists today is not working off luck. No, we're not working off of luck. And now walk down the road and find one criminal. We know them. We know them deeds. Because we have to admit, you know, that in this day and age, you know, we have some of the stupidest criminal ever, you know. All of them have video on their phone with them gun in hand, you know. All of them put up social media page, you know. All of them they're on TikTok. You probably have a couple of them on TikTok right now trying to find me. You probably have a few of them that watch me now because all of them feel say they must put up video on TikTok. They must have WhatsApp status. And the stupidest part them thing they have now. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is now an information and intelligence driven organization and a buck up. The other night I told I was on a PMP supporter platform, a comrade supporter platform. And the gentleman on the platform said, him sad but him not here said no police are dead in all this confrontation. That is what the man say, you know. Him no hear no police. That means that where him want hear upon the news, you know, is that the police are being unalive. That is what him want to hear. That is what he wants to hear. And he's sad that he's not hearing it. I said that is taking things to a new low. The gentleman said he is sad, but he no hear no police are dead in a them confrontation here. I reminded him that Dr. Kevin Blake, the commissioner of police, says, I don't train the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to lose. We not train them to lose. But let me leave them alone for now. As me say, blue the 29th, JCF we say. As long as you support law and order, JCF will say. Now, there is the Integrity Commission is back in the news. This time, we, the bloggers of the Jamaica Labour Party, has always been, what the word I look for, strident in our belief that corruption inside the Integrity Commission was rampant. We believe that the IC has been bought out by PMB supporters. We believe that they were on a witch hunt to try and destroy the image of our Prime Minister. And now, the real shit is now hitting the fan. Because of a letter. Where do I do with this letter? Can somebody send me that the letter from the Integrity Commission, please? Let me see if I can do a little reading with my bad eye. And she can come. She can come up. She can send me a request. She can come read the letter for the people. I feel busy. Petal, anyone out, send me a request and come read it for the people. I want people to hear the letter that was written. And this was the person that was in charge. All right, send it to me. Berlin. All right, no problem. Petal, you there? Come, want somebody come up and read that letter. Where is it? I supposed to have it here. What did I do with it? What did I do with that letter? But this letter is telling, this letter is coming from inside. Somebody wrote to them, and I think the person also copied the major organized crime. That's how bad the person think it was. Right? And the person can tell you, say, listen, this is what is happening. Oh, I found it. Where's the beginning of it? I found it. No, wait. All right, here's where it's like it begins. The chairman, Integrity Commission, addresses there, Carol Lawrence Bestwick. That's the new chairman name. Subject, complaint regarding potential conflict of interest involving Mr. Hold on, this is not the one. No, this is not the one. I thought the other one. This is not the one I'm looking for. This is I want the other one. Shook, why me last letter? The letter was condemning practice that was deemed aggressive while investigating the Prime Minister. Yes, now what we have always said was that we thought this was a witch hunt. We knew it was a witch hunt. All right, so here it is. Now let me... Yes, it could be pronounced as best witch. Maybe she's the best witch for the job. All right, so it says, Carol, I write to you in your capacity as leading principal of the Integrity Commission and major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, respectively, to request an investigation into a serious matter. All right, in a serious matter, I write to lodge a formal complaint. concerning misconduct an act of corruption perpetrated by Kevin Stevens, attorney at law and director of investigation at the commission. Stevenson corrupt act concerned the investigation he pursued in respect of Andrew Michael Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. The record of the Integrity Commission will indicate that an ex-investigator at the commission, Stephanie Fiddler Blake, who at the time was employed to the commission, was moved to place in writing following inquiries from the corruption prosecution department of the IC. Her concern that steps being taken by the commission in probing Prime Minister's finance breach due process. Breach due process and possibly adversely engage the law and investigation by best practice. Mr. Stevens not only elected to exclude Miss Blake's concern, which pointed to an unjust probe from the report he prepared for the parliament. He did the rounds at the commissioner and pursued several senior colleague directors not to include Miss Blake's account of any of their formal consideration concerning the case. Stevens also insisted that Miss Blake retract the statement. Miss Blake resigned from the commissioner. I believe the issue played a key role in her walking away. Where I am. Let me say. I think I'm skipping a part of it. That's it. All right, let me see. You may be aware that it is a breach for public officers and attorney at law who is considered before the court as a minister of justice to exclude evidentiary material from a probe and hide from parliament or judicial foray details which could be material to its outcome. I am confident that a serious investigation would reveal that Mr. Stevens misconducted himself in public office and has possibly breached the Corruption Prevention Act in furtherance of what appeared to be his obsession to implicate the Prime Minister in wrongdoing, even when the evidence does not support his mission. Both he and Executive Director Greg Christie are in the habit of seeking to marginalize and intimidate any staffer who in the commission who acts professionally and respect of the Prime Minister. He had led an atmosphere at the commissioner which is incredibly toxic and is given serious miscarriage of justice. Now, like I said, all this is not surprising to us, to people like me, my fellow Labour Party bloggers. This has been our position from day one. This has been our position, that this man is acting outside of his judicial, his purview. This man is on a witch hunt. This man is on a personal attack at the Prime Minister. This was written to Mark Swaby. Right? I am happy to know that the gentleman has acknowledged receipt of the information, and now we are hoping for a speedy probe into these people. And all this has to be done before them install Dayton Campbell's best friend in another sensitive position, because the only people who are standing between them and their plan was Prince Kamika and the them manage to force her out now and want to put in another a tainted individual in the position. Yes, them finally force her out because she refused to go along with the plan. Last week, Judge Davis said, if we ever know the things where him no one can say, we would have cried water. Because the information that Judge got confirm what we all know a long time. I don't know if I wanna be, you know. I don't know if he's wanna be, but a Lawrence in him, so chances are if he's not his son, he's his stepson. Right? If he's not his son, he's his stepson. Right? This is what we're working with. And this act is I believe it is a treasonous act. It is a treasonous act by these people. A treasonous act by these people. And again, same last name connecting to that. And I believe that it could be his son. Maybe it's one his son we never won. PJ tell me that he make man have enough girls, so chances are it is a treasonous act. They try to bring down a duly elected government. That's what they try to do. They try to bring down a duly elected government. And that is treason. And they should be, I hope Mocha take it very serious. Mark Golding on the political platform say, him here say them a force out Justice Panton and a plan to put one big labor right in place. And him no want that. But now that one big PMP are put in place, I don't hear him. I don't hear him. I don't hear him speaking on the fact that one big PMP are get put in place. Right. But this investigation needs to be carried out forthwith, immediately. And the persons at the foot of it needs to be held accountable and be brought before the court. And thanks to the investment of this government, the Jamaica Constabulary Force have what it is.
Peaceful protest against police abuses. A peaceful protest against police abuses. I did an interview with the chairman of JFJ, John Clark, may have been last week, where I put it specifically to him to say, listen, John, isn't that this, you've dressed up this protest as a protest against police abuses, but really and truly, is it not true that it is a protest against a number of police killings since the start of the year? And he said, yes. John Clark said, yes. Maybe George, I could have used language like journalists should have used, but pretty much that's what it is. So I said, okay. So at least I'm clear as to what JFJ is protesting against. And from very early, after the JFJ flyer started circulating, people within the JCF were reaching out to me to express outrage at this move by Jamaicans for Justice. And I learned very early that there was a counter measure being planned, not a counter protest, but that, people who are supporting the police and their work would wear blue in solidarity with the police. The men and women in blue, the boys and girls in blue, well, not girls, so, you get the idea. And that seems to have taken off because so many more people within the JCF and who are supportive of the work of the JCF and who are sympathetic to the JCF say that they will be wearing blue on April 29 as a direct rebuttal, a riposte, if you may, to what JFJ is setting out to do 7 days from today. And as I look back at that, as I look at that whole situation, timing is everything. JFJ perhaps has timed this wrong, because the mood of the country right now.
So I am missing part of that. I wanted to play the entire thing, but I think I'm missing part of it. Right. Yes, I think George is right. I think they're so used to people being against the JCF, they did not realize that the JCF right now is being supported more than they think. Right, more than they think. There are more people in support of the JCF now. Oh, this is another one. Sorry, this is not the same one.
Mark Goldman, he would have been summoned the government for merging the political ombudsman.
Comrade Blair, you there?
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Has basically abandoned the office. Golden is calling for the legislation to be reversed, or for both parties to sign an agreement for an independent body to be established to handle political matters fairly and impartially. He made the remarks on Wednesday during the...
This is another thing now that Mark Golden is calling for the political ombudsman to be reinstated. Now, this is the same political ombudsman that they charged him for misconduct a couple of years ago, and he refused. He refused to pay. Because the ombudsman has no power. No, all of a sudden you want.
Russell, the PNP's candidate for Southeast Center.
We are in an election period now. Under the law, we are now in the campaign period. And we have seen numerous incidents where PNP candidates have put up their billboards, put up their placards, and they are being defaced, taken down, and disrespected. And it is a recipe for problems. And there's no mechanism, comrades, in place to resolve those issues, because this government made the unwise decision to basically abandon the office of the political ombudsman by amending the law so that the Electoral Commission of Jamaica becomes the political ombudsman. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica cannot play that role. First of all, that institution is a very important institution that is built on consensus around things like setting electoral boundaries and the rules and procedures for elections. It is not set up and should not be infected with the virus of partisanship, which is inherent in adjudicating disputes like that, where you have man and... So what
you admit is that the ombudsman was corrupt with partisanship. If you listen to them.
This one do that and that one do that, and it's a heated situation. I don't know what the government's motive is with this, but I'm saying to all well-thinking Jamaicans and civil society and the private sector and the trade unions, we have to stand up and demand that a mechanism be put in place so that there is an adjudication process for these kind of matters.
With trade union and private sector have to do with political sign going up. Tell me.
Happen so that they don't get out of control and we don't have a return to some of the things that used to happen back in the 70s and early 80s when there was political violence in the country. We don't want to go back there. So they must either amend the law to restore what was there before, or if that will take too long, we can sign an agreement. The JLP and the PNP can sign an agreement appointing independent, trusted, and respected.
We tried that at the Integrity Commission, and you see where it turned out. We not trust none of your friends, them dirty junker. None of them.
Individuals as adjudicators for these kind of disputes. And either party can refer
candidate for Southeastern and on Wednesday. Now, on that point, I had to pull up this thing about the idea of the political ombudsman. I'm going all the way back to December 19th, 2021. The political ombudsman at the time ordered Mark Golden to apologize to Montague for the little boy comment. That was back in 2021. It would have costed 20,000 Jamaican dollars as a contribution to a charitable organization, etc. And that was quoted from the code of conduct, etc. A letter was sent, and I remember vividly, and the story is here, that Defiant Golden disagrees with political ombudsman. This is December 20, 2021. The issue I'm having, Tana, is that I've always been hearing calls for political ombudsman, but I think these calls that are being made, they don't have any basis in reality, because we would have all known and we'd have spoken about it time and again here on Nationwide this morning and in other spaces. The political ombudsman had no teeth.
Rose Angel said, "Chuck, no, I'm not funny, no, I'm straight.
And
I am not funny, I am straight. Girls only."
Yes, we appoint a political ombudsman, but the very leader of the opposition that now is saying that we need to get a political ombudsman for X, Y, and Z.
Petal, you see, Petal, maybe yesterday I had a conversation with a comrade. And the ending of that conversation was very, when you learn a lot, or when you confirm things that you already know. But sometimes it is good to hear when it is said out loud, I have a very good comrade friend of mine. Been living overseas for years now, decades now. I live overseas. Now, this is a smart man, making money, no broke, no hungry. Having good job, having family. Then you can't preach to the choir, Rose. You have to talk to people. Rose, listen to me. This is what I want you to understand. Being on another side of the political divide don't make us enemies. I can still talk to, I have a whole heap of very good friends. Most of them know partner, them are comrade. Right? Yeah, being on different sides of the politics. Yesterday, I actually had a good conversation with Casma. You see me, I say? So, some of the time, when you catch them one-on-one, they make sense. It's just when them in a group, that time they don't make no sense. Right? But the conversation was going on, and I started to probe. I say, a gentleman like you, you're educated, you're smart, you're not broke, you have a few dollars, and you have your name, and you have ideas. And you have admitted that Jamaica is doing well, that the government is doing well, and you like the things that are being implemented by the government. You're a comrade, but you admit those and you like those. Now, why would it be so bad that somebody with your thinking would believe that the only way he can return to Jamaica and make a contribution was if it was returned to the persons that destroyed it in the first place? That is the question I was asking. Why would it take handing Jamaica back over to these people for you to make the decision to come back home? The answer, after a couple, I don't want to go in the entire conversation, but the answer that was given was this. The gentleman said to me, he said, "Let me be honest with you. The problem that we have is that a man like Andrew Holness not supposed to do this so. A man like Andrew Holness not supposed to do this so. A man like Andrew not supposed to do this so. Now, I catch on to that immediately. Now, you did not say the Jamaica Labour Party, and you say somebody like Andrew. Now, the little boy was born in a Spanish town. Yes, the little boy was born in the 2-bedroom Spanish town. He never go KC, he never go St. George's College, he never go Calabar, and he never go Jamaica College. So he never grew up amongst the elite. In skin no white. And that, my people, is the biggest problem that they have. And that problem is so bad that they have engaged the whole slave. The people at the Integrity Commission are what we call the house slave. Because they have been tasked with bringing down, and let me quote PG words now. We are going to use PG words. They have been tasked with bringing down the man who, if him walk off of the stage and step amongst them, you can't tell the difference. That was Patterson's word, and I'm quoting PJ Patterson. So the man who, if him step off of the stage and walk amongst them, you can't tell the difference. People like Kevin Stevenson, people like Greg Christie. That is the work where the master give them as the whole slave. When pat them on their head sometimes. People like Dayton Campbell. And Dayton Campbell in the send round the back. If you bring out the man in a chain on the platform. Yeah, a Dayton Campbell in it send for the man in a chain with the big chain around his neck. If you drag him come on the stage. House slave. And like I said, that is the issue. Somebody like him, they don't like the facts that one little boy from Spanish town. Them, the same PMP, they never like the facts that one little girl from Woodhall. From Woodhall in a St. Catherine, can turn them leader. They never like that. Think what I say, you know? They did not like the fact, say one little girl pick the fan down in a Woodhall. I mean, at our portion now, did rise to the top and turn leader. Them did not like that. The Manleys, Bronkin people. Then they hang it over to the old pirate, who was himself an elite. He was an attorney, a lawyer, so they let him in. Andrew Holness no me, Andrew Holness no liar. Him and no liar, so he's not a part of that old boys club. So even if you come from Spanish town and you go poor, if you join the old boy club where he's a liar, then we see with you. Because you can come in handy. And that is what is driving this onslaught, this attack, this blind church to bring down the Prime Minister, is that they don't believe he belongs there. We in Jamaica love talk about the fight we get to you get. We talk about it every day, you know. But there now, a ghetto youth will rise up, is being pulled down. Yes, a ghetto youth will come out of Spanish town is now being pulled down. People are trying. For no reason except that him is a ghetto youth from Spanish Town. That is the only reason. That is the only reason. They have no other reason. They have no other reason. This only crime against them is that he come from Spanish Town. Him is not a liar. And because of that, he must be destroyed. Because guess what? They must set an example that no one from this class must ever dare rise up again and try to do anything for its people. We like to, comrades are now using Ibrahim Torres as an example. Oh, look at what he's doing. Look at what he's doing for his people. Look at what Andrew is doing for his people. Ibrahim Torres has made education free. Andrew Holness and the Labour Party made education free. Ibrahim Torres is building houses for the poor in his country. Andrew Holness is building houses for the poor in Jamaica. We don't have the gold reserve or the rare mineral reserve that are in those countries. So we are using what we have. Burkina Faso never have a PMP government where run up the debt from 60 billion to 860 billion. No, they never have that. So he never have that to deal with. The Jamaica Labour Party had that to deal with. The People's National Party put us in debt for 3 generations. A 3 generation of debt they put us in. And that's what we have to get out of. So you can sit down there as comrade and you look all around the world and look what other people are doing. Remember this. You never see one somebody from Burkina Faso depend internet and tear down them country yet. Collapse the financial system, yes. Make Mark Golding a billionaire on the back of Jamaican people. That is what we have. Alvaro said, I must prove to him, say Mark Golding benefit for FinSac. He said, that's all he want me to prove it to him. Well, if I have to prove that to you, I tell you where the information is, you know. And as according to you, you're not a PMP supporter. But it take one little man where they day in a school when Jamaica collapsed. If you can write one paper to explain what happened when in the day in a school. The Chinese government, in their move from third world to first world, it started with cheap labor. It started with minuscule job. But people take those jobs, they build themselves, they learn skill. And now China is the #1 economy in the world. Well, arguably, the #1. China is now master of production. They are now builders. They build everything. We see where the Prime Minister is purging, is priming Jamaica to do the very same thing. Hello, neighbor. You there? We see where this Prime Minister is priming Jamaica to take the very same position. We are building towns. We are building commercial districts. Yes, we are trying to improve our productivity. We are making skills training free. We are making skills training free. So people can go, get your skill, and get ready. Because Jamaica too will move at the top of the train one day. And we are going to do it either with or without the help of the PNP. Bless up yourself, neighbor. Welcome, class. Right, we are going to do it with or without the help of the PNP and them supporter. Right, we are going to do it with or without it. One mission we have, and it's to choose Jamaica, and we will always choose it. We will always be choosing Jamaica. I speak this all the while when I tell people, I say what happened to us in the 90s with FinSAP was no accident. It was no accident. It was something that was planned and executed. Of course, once you choose Jamaica, choosing the Labour Party is choosing Jamaica. Connecting to that, if you bring it back, what go on?
Yes, my brother. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody in the chat. Yeah, man, I was passing through, but once I see you live, I have to stop, I have to get straight.
All right, I bet so.
And I encourage you to keep the fire burning, man.
You know that?
Yeah?
We know we now stop that.
No, man, this operation shall continue, man.
Until the Lord Almighty
come to Israel, man.
Come for Israel.
This operation shall continue, man. Because the thing about it, we present on the basis of truth. The PNP has had a history of lying to Jamaica. And the closest leader since the 70s that goes back to the 1970s is Mark Golding. Since Mark Golding took over the leadership of the PNP, I am seeing a resurgence of that. I want to start where you mentioned the IC. In 1976, I was a big enough boy. I was born before independence. I'm a big boy at high school in 1976. I read up and glean up guard library and all kind of stuff. 1976, when Michael Manley came out and made that announcement about the alleged coup in order to call the state of emergency.
Yeah,
that was the most frightening thing to me as a youngster, man. I was scared. Only we find out I lied the man to the country, big fat lie. But subversive, he wanted to win an election that he would have lost 1976 if he didn't call that state of emergency, lock up Public Range, lock up Pernell Charles, grown and lock up election day workers, and that's what the key, and release him after the polls close.
Release them 5 o'clock on election day.
Yes. After the polls they release them. That was one of the most scary moments of my life as a youth at high school, beginning of boy, almost in high school. And they come back now with a bag of lies, pure lie. I heard a comrade accusing the Labour Party of driving up the unaliving rate when they're in opposition. And he talk about the infiltration at 16 in the space. But that one, when I say, nothing that they do shock me, but that one that really and truly rub me badly, Because in 1974, and we have to, they don't like the past, because they pass, with good reason they don't like to hear about the past, because they have a very wretched past. 1974, this year, Michael Manley passed, under Michael Manley, a law was passed. It was known as the Suppression of Crime Special Provision Act. I operated under that law as a policeman. It's just like the state of emergency. It lasted for 20 years. 20 years it lasted for. So when I joined the force in the late 70s, I used it as well. Stop and search without warrant, enter premises without warrant, arrest without warrant, and you can be detained. It's almost like the state of emergency. When Michael called the state of emergency 76, he already had a similar provision, but the state of emergency, of course, would have come with more stringent rules. Mm-hmm. And that suppression of crime act was what the police used and the military. I give military power like police, just like state of emergency. That was what they used. We used to keep the crime rate and the unaliving rate in check between 74 and 94. It was under PG that they dismantled that Suppression of Crime Act. And if you look at the unaliving rate from that time coming up, you realize that the trajectory started to go until it reached, by 97, it reached 1,000 plus.
Yes.
So that's one of the things.
By 95 was when we hit 1,680.
Oh, that's 05. Oh, not 95, 05.
Yes, 05.
1,674, yes. So, and there was another law, the Vagrancy Act. We used to pick up people under the Vagrancy Act, And sometimes when you carry them in and process them, I wanted man for our next place, By the time you start process them and question them and call where they come from, they wanted them in place. So we used to use these laws, PMP, get rid of it. And then they come up, try blame JLP, for drive up murder rate, unaliving rate, and for them watch. Another thing why this unaliving rate is always under the PMP is that they do not resource the national security apparatus. They don't give the police vehicle, they don't give them nothing, and the military. And they are very soft on crimes, especially in their garrisons. What they do is appoint one of them surrogates in the security forces and the police force, the third commissioner. And from that now, him start to pull up all the people to the hierarchical structure. And then now then take talk now from the party, which place is not to go and which place is to go. I serve the force, so I'm telling you, these are the things that I pick up. I also serve the Police Federation Executive as General Secretary, etc. And I see these things playing out, where they use the leadership of the police force to avoid clansmen and those gangs. And they're driving up the unaliving rate. And they're very soft, and the JLP is completely different. You know what I mean? Spanish with this one other brother.
Yes.
The police now have a free hand to go in any community, including Tivoli guys, and anywhere they want to go.
Anywhere they want to go, any which part the intelligence lead them.
Right. The PMP is not that. I can't tell anybody that. The PMP is not that. And that is why they always have this whole heap of unaliving and thing. If you look at what the posture of the opposition leader, well, one specifically I want to talk to a statement that he made when he was here talking about I represent the people from Concrete Jungle.
Yes, man, and them have the whole of jungle behind him, so I'm not afraid of nobody. I remember that speech.
And Labour right now, so easy, We have to step up,
we have to get wicked upon them.
Wicked upon them too. And to this day, as a farmer detective, I would have liked him to explain to Jamaica what I mean by that. He has not attempted to explain. I would like Mark Bolin to explain that statement to the country. I am demanding that he explain what the hell he meant by that. We have, after I go back and he mentioned he represent people at jungle and get a strength from them. I'm afraid of no guy in a parliament when big talk. And they were right now, they go for this so easy. So we have to step up, get busy.
We keep on them.
In a country which has a high crime rate, including unaliving. That is a statement the opposition leader is putting out in the head of people. People who represent that jungle. But when you talk, suppose that, no, my brother, with what is happening in some of them freedom stronghold. You remember this mass unaliving that took place last year that affected the numbers. You remember?
Yes, man.
All of them took
8
place.
in a Clarendon, 5 in a East Kingston.
Yes. You know what will take place? The only PMP constituency in Clarendon. That's where it happened, They have 1 seat in Clarendon out of the 6 seats. And that's where the first one took place with the gate. And next time then hit out of the Parliament constituency of the East Kingston. And then I think they moved to Portia Place, they run Angela Burberg.
Yeah, right. No, it was Peter Phillips, right? Peter Phillips.
Angela Brownberg. So all of these so-called mass unaliving is taking place in their constituency. When you look again at this trial in this the one done, that's a breakaway at the PMP Alliance Klansman gang. Come with one of them. When you look what came out of that trial, and I am trying to connect some of that stuff, so bear with me a little. The leader of that breakaway was Andre Blackman. He's now a convicted gangster and murderer. Doing time in prison. Him lucky he meet the judge.
He meet the judge and not the maker.
Yes, so he can count himself very lucky. You know a policeman's father died in that investigation. They target him in Olab and unalive him. Yeah, man, one of the investigators father was alive because of the stance that he took. And this is how dangerous these people are. I wouldn't be surprised if I want to them surrogate for an force give it the father. I would not be surprised because they're deadly. They're very dangerous. So now this guy, you know, who was a top tier member of that gang, the Rwandan gang. He said Andre Blackman told him to go on the police website and check to see if there is any other division in Jamaica with a higher unaliving rate than that with the
one, yes.
And the man said when he came back to Spanish Town and told him, the guy was visibly upset that Clarendon and St. James had a higher rate than what they were experiencing in Spanish Town. Man mad. Man have to step up and get busy and get wicked on them too. I wonder if you connect to me, I say no.
Yes.
So, an unaliving competition obviously is going on. An unaliving competition is going on in this country. Who are the players? Who's paying the prizes? What are the prizes? Who's providing them with prizes? These are the questions in choosing Jamaica. In choosing Jamaica, these are some of the questions that we must begin to ask the people to look at. You understand? During my stint at the Police Federation, during that election campaign in 2002, I personally received report. As a matter of fact, the team reported that 2 members who were armed with 16s, 4 members all armed with 16s, were providing VIP security for 2 dons, one in Central Jamaica and one in East Kingston, who were issuing millions of dollars over here to influence the outcome of the election. That's what I received while I was on the Police Federation executive. Not all the members agree with them nastiness, you know. So some of them quietly can complain. But at the time, I honestly didn't feel in my mind that I had a commissioner to complain to. So we just make it slide. We discuss it and make it slide because it don't make sense to go to the commissioner. I want to see observe that. You think the commissioner know about it? You think that could have happened with the commissioner permission? These men were taken from CMU, which is quite led by Adams at the time. That's where they allegedly came from.
Connecting the dots. I don't mean to cut you, but I'm glad you're on here.
Yes.
Amalo, good afternoon, Amalo, my darling.
You're respecting Angel. What are you doing?
Good. So I'm glad you're on here. I want to steer the conversation a little bit different. We have 109 viewers on here, and probably a lot more on the For You page. But I want to bring it a little bit more closer into what's happening now.
Yes.
Now with the police force that we have, the commissioner, and just the overall system, the change. I would like for you to pretty much tell us the difference and what it was for you then, it was, how was it for you to be a police officer back then, and what you see now, what this force is doing. What is the difference, and how easy or how hard it was back then to how easy it is now?
Very good question. I'm glad you asked. All right. I joined in the late 70s. And I have never seen in those years the police force as resource as it is now. I have never seen the level of training being carried out. For example, I used to have to use my lunch money to buy a pizza and put in the police car. That's how bad it was. I remember specifically one day a gentleman, I was there stationed in Rotary. And I was a detective, so I was investigating like major crime, serious crime. A gentleman had a breaking up in Uptown. And I felt like a little boy, you know, to tell citizens that I'm here to serve and protect, that I don't have any gas in the car. I just feel like I'm castrated. So I would take my last lunch money and buy gas for the car just to respond to the citizens' report. These are some of the things that we encountered. And when I got to the gas station, I ordered $500 gas, my lunch money. And the man looked around. Apparently, this man was a middle class citizen. And the man said, "You paying for the gas?" I said, "Yeah, that's the only way I can go to the scene to investigate the report." He said, "No, man. I said, no. It's my report." And he tell the pump attendant to put in $500. So he bought 1,000, so I had gas to carry my to investigate that report. That is what was happening. So it kind of compromised. I remember a gentleman was prosecuted. I was called out there by some of the juniors I was supervising. And they showed me a man in a Prado who had parked blocking a man that likes to obstruct traffic. And the man said he wasn't going to move. When I looked in the Prado, somebody I knew. I knew him for quite a few years. And I went to him and said, the officer tell you to move, man. You know, so just move and just call the thing off. He said, nah, we can't leave you because my son gone and brother. And you know, I confuse him because I can't find him. He said, no, but you should have thought about that before. Tell him to move. He said, no, he can't move. So I said, police run some ticket for him, run some ticket. I think I was coming here to compromise my position because I knew him. You know, run some ticket for him, man. And I ticketed him. And you know him grumble and say, no soup can't call him about no spare parts again, you know, police vehicle. You know. That's what matter to me, you know. Those things are out the window now. This government led by Jamaica Holness. And let me tell you something, let me give you an example. Because remember now when I'm speaking, you know, as a former general secretary of the Police Federation, too. It was a tooth-wrenching experience to get the PNP government by come and tire. I remember 2001 May, all 8 of us went to the Prime Minister's office, you know, an invitation. All 8 executive members, 8 of us were at the committee. And all 8 of us marched to Jamaica House to CPJ without him telling him that we were coming. Police telephone line, no matter that thing that become mute. That thing that become mute. Do that one, you know. I can't understand it. I say fed up and fed up. You probably fed up, but yeah, man, mute that one day. Omalu. Some night, another back road there. We chop. All right. So we went to the Prime Minister's office without telling him that we were coming there. Police telephone lines were being disconnected left, right, and center for non-payment of bill. Police telephone lines. Police vehicles were running out of gas, petrol left, right, and center on the road. There was very little and no spare parts. Common body armor, helmets, and vests were happening. Stationary, common things like stationary we couldn't find. In those days, we never we were using technology so much, so a paper trail to use. And living common full scap right statement you couldn't get. And nobody can tell me it's a lie because I faced it. I had to be going to the private sector to beg them people to carry out distribute a station and give police for collect statement and a PMP.
So what you say?
Yes.
So what you're saying then connecting to that, because I don't want to lose the folks. I see my numbers going down. I want to have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Can you give me your opinion on what's happening with the Jamaica for Just Shit? The Jamaica for Just Shit, who claims that too many productive, because it has to be. Because Jamaica for Just Shit, I don't see they standing up when young girls are getting unalive or when young girls are getting raped and missing. We have so many young people who have been missing and all. I mean, justice is for all. Justice is for victim and the accused. It's not just a one-sided thing. And so I don't understand why Jamaica for Just Shit only have justice and only have eyes to see when the so-called productive citizens get unalive. They get unalive with pieces, with weapons. They get unalive in a process of a fight with a police officer. And you want to go out there and protest. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to voice your opinion. But if you're going to be honest and be fair and square, it has to be on both sides. Victims and the accused are victims, and you can't just be on one side. So I'm asking you, what is your opinion on the amount of so-called bad man, so-called crime, whatever that's out there in Jamaica? What is your opinion on the amount of these folks that's been unalive? Well,
the thing is, from my own perspective as a former law enforcement practitioner, every time that you have to unalive somebody, it is regrettable. But just recently, a day or two ago, one known producer of crime, was taken in alive. He was taken in with his weapon. His weapon with an extended magazine. And let me say this. Jamaicans for Justice has been around for a long time. I met with them in about 2001. I was on the Federation Executive. And their stance has not changed. It seems to me that they are aligned to a certain organization. And they are there not because so much of what the police is doing, but to please the Orange Army. They are there to support the Orange Army. If you haven't listened good enough, you listen to the bloggers them. They are against the unalive the criminal suspect. But my question is, for the past 20 odd years, over 1,000 since 2003 till now, over 1,000 of us were being unalive, and Jamaica just kept quiet.
Okay. That is my point. That is my point. And so let me say, Baron, darling,
yes.
who wrote, one of my friends wrote, don't go low. I'm not going low, I'm being honest.
No.
I'm a first responder, right? I'm a first responder in New York City, New Jersey. I work alongside firefighters and police officers every day. When a police officer shoots somebody, it's a big deal, Yes. He has to go through counseling.
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
It is a big deal. Absolutely, it is a big deal. His weapon has been taken away from him.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. I know these things. I am exposed to these things. So when I'm on this platform and I'm speaking from experience.
Absolutely.
I have to go on a crime scene and see when these things happen. I have to go through all of these things with these folks. I understand the intricacy of this. What I am saying, darling, I'm not going low. When I say Jamaica for just shit, I'm being frank about it. Just like connecting the dots, say, when 2-3 years ago we had over 1,000 murders a year, I didn't see a protest about coming out and standing up, say, young man, start loving your neighbor, young man, start loving your country, young man, start thinking about others, young man. I didn't see a protest about unaliving each other when good, innocent citizens were getting unalive. I didn't see that. So I want to understand why, Amalo, I would love for you to add to this conversation. I would love for you to add to this conversation, Amalo, because, this protest is coming up and we all should voice our opinion and how we feel about something. But I don't understand it.
Well, I understand it. I understand when people have motive, they do things based on their motive. And the Jamaicans for so-called Justice is an organization that I generally used to support because I thought what they were standing for was, reasonable. They're standing between the police and those that maybe you think would be at a disenfranchised end. But when we see things like the murder rate going down, when we see more people are living, celebrating life, and we don't have any confirmation from Indicom saying that the police has done anything illegal, and then you have this organization coming out demonstrating, and we don't understand what is it that you're demonstrating against. Is that you're demonstrating against illegal act? Is that you're demonstrating against legal act? What is it that you are bringing awareness to that you couldn't have wrote the commissioner and sit down one-on-one and spoke to him? So these are things where it makes you think as to what is your real agenda, because it cannot be that you can't have a meeting with the commissioner. So that is really not your agenda. Your agenda is to cause disturbance within something that is progressively moving smooth. We have to understand that the change in the police force is dramatic. Yeah? This is a revolutionary change that we have. We used to have people that sing song, say, officer boy, no touch my shirt, because my shirt dearer than your pay.
True.
I've seen something just the other day where a police pull over a Benz And the guy was telling him, say, yo, watch how you deal with my Benz. And the policeman shake him, keep on him waistband. And say, me I drive Benz to me, not
Same thing.
You understand what I'm saying? So no, these are the changes, these are the confidence that are being put in the people that's supposed to bring out justice in Jamaica. You can't just buy way out no more. You can't, we don't work for nobody but the government. You understand me? We are not saying everything is smooth. We are not saying you're not going to have a few bad apples. But
over a period before the reading done, my brethren.
Yeah, but you're not, one of the things that you're not going to find, you're not going to find a dramatic change of everything overnight here. It has to continue, and you have to have leadership to continue what is going on.
Facts. Thank you, Amalo. Daddy Rusty, go on.
Yeah, blessed love, blessed evening to everyone, you know.
Blessings.
My view may be a bit across the grain, but I have always said that human rights in Jamaica, human rights organization in Jamaica, are criminal organization. I have always said this, and people always said to me, say, no, Rusty, if you have a buffer between the police and the citizens. But I have always said, when the human rights door them start get kicked down and them start kill for them, pick me and rob them and kill off them, then them going to understand what is human rights. Because the human rights organization seem to think that a guy must come rob you and kick down your door and rape your daughter and kill off your family, and they must advocate for them, and they mustn't dead back, and nothing must happen to them. And them is human being all upon a sudden now when they made a kill off people picnic. Them was animal. But all upon a sudden from them kill off your picnic, them is human being now. I have always said this, somebody need to start kick down for them door. Now the other thing behind this is what I want to say is the PNP has managed to have them now turn them into a surrogate. And you might not know, but I am telling you this. This is my argument. The PNP is a criminal organization. It has always been that. A criminal organization. First thing first, they have no understanding about economics, right? And the analogy that the Prime Minister used with the dog chasing the car fits them perfectly. And this is not to say that they are dogs. This is just an analogy to say what they are like. And being like something doesn't mean that you are it. See? And that's how they're acting, like dogs. Running down a car when the car stop them, don't know what to do with this car. So them are run down the government business, for be government, and every time them get government, them don't know what to do with it. Them do all that sort of nonsense. Wreck the country, and then them say, a labor right to come fix it. And when we fix it, they say, all right, don't know, and give them back. We're not get it back this time. Not this time. And for all the criminal intent for them have and create mayhem with these guns where them are import and all the nonsense where them are do, we Antonio and the government Antonio, and we know what we not deal with. It not going to happen because I say the police have to pass. It's not the police today. The 6,000 police we used to have is 14,000 police now more in training. See? And the police system, when they take out of the school, them and the college, them now, a bright police. I don't know, police are coming at the force now with two subject are grade 9 passes or drop out of high school or them the days of policing done. Out of college and high school now, them take police now. And the police them working at the force now, them is not labor right and PNP, them is police. Them coming for your backside to do whatever is justice to.
Rusty, say that again. Tell them again. You know, right?
Them coming for your backside anywhere you're there. Anywhere you're there now, them coming for. Some of them have all breast milk on them out. Then don't give a shit about no labor right and a PNP. Police them. Them serious about them work. Right? And it's about time now we start to have respect for the police. Me myself, you know. Me is a very arrogant person at time, you know. Very dark sometimes, and sometimes all depends on how the police approach you. Me we get caught. I have had my run-ins with the police, broke my ratted and already. Me have to lock him up feet because him approach me wrong and me disrespect him, just like how him disrespect me. I didn't quite properly bust my ratted, right? And I secret course and got my justice. right? So there will be the bad apples and the bad eggs, right? But for a general conduct, the police is not bad apple. Generally.
Facts. Agree, Rusty. Facts, Rusty. Rusty, what my camera become want to say if we look good together, you know, face to face, side by side.
You know, I've always wondered that. Yeah, man. You know. No, put fun and joke aside. Me always look for you one certain way, you know, but to me, is a guy now just running it and say certain things, you know.
Yeah, Rusty, shut the hell up. Anyway,
so what may I say still, people must start to have respect for the police because, and I mean, likewise, the police should have respect for us because most of the police are very arrogant and is way off the mark with them training. I mean, it's not the training that what them get. But then again, police are human beings. Them have 2 baby mother and 3 baby man and and them have a long, miserable wife like the rest of us.
Not only that, Rusty.
Them have bills to pay like the rest of us. Them have frustration like the rest of us. Yeah.
They are the same people that come from your community, that comes from my community. They are the same persons.
Yes.
And the same person that have issues like you and I. They're human beings.
Yes.
They're not superheroes. They're not robots.
Sometimes when them they at work, them wife give them bone and them have frustration. So they will come out and give a problem. And like when the police attack, they might not talk to you the best way. They might not approach you right. But you must also understand, so what you know? Don't fight fire with fire when it comes to the police. Adjust yourself on this most, all right? First thing we need to do is adjust ourselves to knowing the law and what the law says, right? A police come and him accost you. Him supposed to tell you, say, if him arrest you, him supposed to tell you why you're being arrested, right? And he's supposed to approach you in a way. He's supposed to tell you why you're being arrested and all the intricacies of you being accosted, right? Or searched, right?
I like that.
And we should cooperate. No, this is as long as the police is operating in a mood that we cannot tolerate is being there, is presence. Because some of them have them problem just like we. And sometimes me and him buck up and the 2 away have problem and then now it's bigger problem that. But we have to learn to tolerate the fact that the police is one wing of the government that is here to uphold the law and we should obey the law of the land. And if you're going to demonstrate against the police, that is tyranny. And everybody will go out, they should get locked up once, charge a fine and send up remand center for 100 days. Go learn damn sense.
All right, Rusty.
He said lock them up and send the arresting officer police.
Right. I can't find the key.
Can't find the
All
key.
right, Rusty.
Right?
Good evening, everybody.
Well, even criminals love the police because criminality cannot survive without the police.
But Rusty, one thing I agree with you with, Rusty, and it's not just in Jamaica, but anywhere you are, you should know the law. You should know your rights. Most of all, you should know your rights. Because if you know your rights, even when the police officer is doing the wrong, you wouldn't know if you don't know your rights. You should know. We all should know our rights, no matter where you live. When a country you live in, you should know your rights. Joshua.
I say nobody for roll over and play dead and say, all right, the police is here and assume automatically, okay, the police is here, I'm under arrest. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the calmer you deal with it, the better result you're going to get.
That's right. Correct.
Josh, hold on, me from Joshua. Joshua, been up here a minute. Joshua, open your mic. I'd mute you because you had a noisy background.
Good afternoon. After such a stellar, immaculate presentation by one father, Rusty, one general, you know, the principal, how could I come up here and say anything? You know, I'd look like a primary school student trying to follow a professor. Huh?
Yes, okay.
I'll pull back and allow Son of Punkus to go before me.
All right.
I can't follow Rusty, man. Rusty, you make me look stupid.
Watch Rusty face. Punkus, go on, Punkus.
No, the general put on a clinic. A while ago. Me don't go say Rusty for president, you know, when him done, you know, me don't go say Rusty for president. But Rusty, everything where you say Rusty, everything where you say you're spot on, right? However, we have some minor misconception. The police don't must have to tell you upon spot why my arrest upon spot and they can tell you down at the station too. a lot of people kind of have that misconception. They say, him have to tell you at the moment of him
I used to listen
detaining you.
to this you and the law thing, and it used to tell me, say, if you're being arrested, cooperate with the police, but you must know why you are being arrested.
Under the
No,
law.
I agree.
Police can't
No,
start
I agree, but
telling you why.
but him can't tell you at the station. That's what I'm saying. It's also
Rusty, there's a reason why you should listen to Son of Punkus that I will not say online. We can talk behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, I don't like that. But continue, Punkos.
Yeah, jealousy, you jail. But listen, you know what I'm seeing happening now, and this has always been Jamaica. We're a country of trends. Either we set the trend them or we follow the trend them. And more now we start follow this American trend where them take out them cell phone, them a resist, them a do this, them a do that. You understand me? And the danger in that is that young people are seeing this and start do the same thing. There was a video recent, I think 2 days ago, with a schoolboy. They were trying to detain a young man